webinars. So with the help of MapReduce, we can perform the analysis by writing the Java program. Now, one of the ego component that is called as PIG, we are going to discuss today. How the PIG can be used for performing the analysis, we have seen, and we have already discussed about Flume and Scoop. Basically, the big data analysis is for performing analysis with concern to the structured data and to the unstructured data. So we have unstructured data, semi-structured data, as well as structured data. If you want to perform the analysis by using the structured data, or we are having some structured data, then we are going to make use of the component called as Scoop, and then we are going to put the data into the HDFS, that is called as Hadoop Distributed File System. Then we perform the analysis by writing the MapReduce coding, or by implementing the PIG, or by implementing the Hive. So PIG we are going to discuss, as well as we are going to discuss the Hive. In case we are dealing with the unstructured data or semi-structured data, at that time to import the unstructured data and semi-structured data into the HDFS, we have to make use of the Flume. Once data is entered into the HDFS, or by importing into the HDFS, we can perform the analysis by using the MapReduce or by using the PIG and Hive. So the most important thing is, when we can perform the analysis by writing the MapReduce coding, then why we require the PIG? That is an important question we have to discuss. So this is the thing we are going to see now. Need of PIG. Actually, why we need the PIG is, the basic reason of needing the PIG is, somebody asks you, do you know Java? Then if people does not know about the Java, then they will answer the first, they will answer as what. So in that circumstances, then the phenomena makes like this. What is, if people does not know about the Java, or if they are not good towards Java, or they are not strong towards Java, in that case, can't they perform the analysis by using the Hadoop? So then it becomes a big, difficult problem for such peoples. So in that case, for such peoples, it's a good news. I can tell that PIG is a solution for the people who does not know much about Java. They can perform their analysis by writing the PIG script. So that is one advantage for the people who does not know about the Java coding. And 10 lines of PIG is equivalent to 200 lines of Java line. That means if you are writing a Java program to perform the big data analysis, because already we have discussed in the previous webinar that MapReduce is a mechanism for performing the analysis for the big data. So when we are using the MapReduce, we are writing the MapReduce by using the Java. So 200 lines of Java is equivalent to 10 lines of PIG. So almost all 99% of workload has been reduced. That is one benefit. And the second important benefit is, people who does not know about the Java, who are not good towards Java, even they can also learn about, they can also perform the analysis by using the PIG concept. And moreover, there are some built-in operations are there in the PIG, that is called as joins, group, filter, sort, and many more operations are there, which you are going to see in the next coming slides. So what is a PIG is? A PIG is nothing but it is an open source high level data flow system. It is an open source high level data flow system. It provides a simple language for queries and data manipulation, which can be compiled into MapReduce jobs that run on the Hadoop. So the most important thing is, here we need to analyze one important thing, that is nothing but, even though you are not writing the MapReduce programming, if you are performing the analysis by writing the PIG script, internally when you execute them, it will generate the MapReduce coding only. So this is the most important thing we have to remember. What is that? It provides a simple programming language for queries and data manipulation that is compiled into MapReduce jobs that are run on the Hadoop. So ultimately, The core part, the basic background work which is performed is the MapReduce. But people who does not know about the Java, they can simply work with the Pig or Hive and they can perform the analysis. But internally, the analysis, the thing is going on with the help of the MapReduce only. So why the Pig is important is because companies like Yahoo, Google and Microsoft are collecting large number of data sets in the form of click streams, search logs and web crawls. And to perform the quick analysis, see, if I want to perform the quick analysis, I can't sit in the system and keep on writing my Java coding. That is not possible for us. So in that case, what we are going to do, we are going to perform the analysis by using the components called as Pig. So some of ad hoc processing and analysis of such information can be performed by using the Pig. That is the important advantage of the Pig. Right. Short and sweet. What is a Pig? A Pig is nothing but it is an open source high level data flow system. Why the Pig was created is the Pig was created for basically for four important reasons. The four important reasons is it is a ad hoc way and for creating and executing the MapReduce jobs on very large data sets. So we don't say it is a permanent way. I can tell you that is for a quick analysis. I want to perform a very quick analysis. I cannot sit and I cannot keep on typing the Java program. In that case, for a quick analysis, I am going to make use of Pig. So, for example, I would like to give an example of my organization, that is Vignan Institute of Information Technology. In this, for example, my boss asked me, give me the people who have been placed in XYZ company in the year of 2015. So I won't keep on writing my coding part and I will not produce the output because he asked me in a fraction of a second. So what I am going to do is I am going to write a simple line of query or a 2-line of 3-line of script and I'm going to get the answer. The same manner, they may ask us many questions. Very frequent, they may ask us many questions. So in that case, what we can do is we can dump all our data into the HDFS because HDFS accepts all kind of data. It could be a CSV file or a Excel files or a DBMS files, any kind of unstructured files, semi-structured files, all things can be analysis. So we are going to put into the HDFS and then what we are going to do now, we are going to perform the analysis. And why we are using the Pig or why the Pig was created is for the rapid development. For quick development, we can make use of the Pig. And the most important thing is the people who does not love Java, the people who hates the Java, for them they can perform the analysis by using the Pig. And the most important is it has been created by the Yahoo because Yahoo is a search engine for performing the analysis. The Yahoo used or using also the Pig only now. Even now also it has been used, and previously also they used to use with the Pig only for the analysis purpose. So what I can tell is such big companies are using, so we can also implement all these technology in our working environment and we can make a quick analysis. Why should I go for Pig when there is a MR? So why I should go for a Pig when there is a MR? The reason are two important reasons. The two important thing is nothing but for MR I have tried this many lines of coding. For Pig I have tried only this many lines of coding. I have already said you 200 lines of code is equal to 10 lines of script. That is for this reason I am going for Pig. And why I should go for a Pig when there is a MR? I am going for a Pig because I'm sorry. Yeah. Why I'm going for a Pig when there is MR? Because the reason is because the development time is less here. So I'm going for the Pig because we cannot keep on sitting on the machine and performing the analysis. Even the people who are doing the research works also, for them also for quick analysis, they can implement use of the Pig rather than the MR because the hardly thing we are going to do is just dumping all our data into the HDFS, which is called as the distributed file system. The complete big data we are going to stuff into the HDFS. Then we are going to perform all kinds of analysis by simply writing a 1-2 lines of scripting. So this is a very good news for everybody, because generally people, when they see the MapReduce coding, then they themselves stop that we cannot perform the analysis by using the Hadoop. So they themselves make them to stop. So please, it is not like that. There are number of ways are there to perform the analysis. So the Pig and Hive are the very easy and quick analysis way. So this will be for the beneficial for the organization for a quick report generation, and moreover for generating the quick analysis for the researchers. It will be very useful, because for my research also I have used this Pig and Hive analysis tools only for quick analysis. Then immediately I have taken the decision whether I can go ahead or not, instead of depending on the MapReduce coding. So again, still one more question: why I should go for Pig when there is a MR? The reason is MR is powerful model for parallelism based on rigid procedural structure. MR provides good opportunity to parallelize algorithm and have a higher level declarative language. Frankly speaking, there is no doubt. Actually, MapReduce is the strongest tool for performing the analysis. But quick analysis is not possible with the MapReduce. Why? Because it requires a procedural structure. It has a rigid procedural structure, and we have to depend on one or two algorithms. Basing on that algorithms, how to define my program. So all these things creates a lot of time also, as well as we need to spend more productive time also we need to spend. That is one thing present with the MapReduce. But at the same time, I would like to tell you that is the heart of the Hadoop framework is the MapReduce. So people who are not good towards Java, for them they can satisfy their analysis work by the using of Pig and Hive. But people who are strong towards Java, they can stick to the MapReduce and they can get the power and the strength of the MapReduce for their analysis. What is a Pig is, it is desirable to have a higher level declarative language, and it is similar to SQL query where the user specifies what and leaves the how to underlying the processing engine. So this is the reason when why I am going for the Pig. Where should I use Pig? So in which area or in which cases I can use Pig? So I always suggest that use the Pig when you have a quick analysis. Don't use the Pig when you have a lot of time, when you want to have a analysis based on different parameters. At that time, design your own programming mechanism by using the MapReduce mechanism and then perform the analysis. With consent to the Pig, when can be Pig can be used is, Pig can be used whenever we have large volumes of data and we want a quick analysis. In that case, we can make use of Pig. So the case one of using the Pig can be time sensitive data loads, processing many data sources, analytic insight through sampling. So in these cases, we can make use of Pig. So some of the use cases we are going to see with the Pig, that is called as processing the weblogs, data processing for search platforms like Yahoo is using this now, support for ad hoc queries across large data sets. This can be the third point. It can be applied for the institutions like us because we can put all our data into the HDFS. Maybe in the Vignan Institute, we can put all the data into the HDFS and we can generate ad hoc queries and quick analysis can be performed. And we can use for a quick prototype typing of algorithm for processing large data sets also. This Pig can be used. So let us see some of the examples where the analysis can be implemented. For your understanding purpose, I'm just giving some examples here. So since big data analytics deals with the unstructured data and the semi-structured data also, so I am working with some sort of unstructured data here now. Just think that we have two data sets here. One is visits data set is one, another is pages data set is one. So in visits data set, I'm having these are the users who has visited this URLs. So Amy is visited this URL. Amy also visited this URL. Amy also visited this URL, and Amy again visited this URLs. But this user, Fred, has visited this URL, right? at so and so time. So this is my data set, so which has user, URL and time. And this is the one more data set where I'm having only URL and the page ranks. So what is our requirement now? My requirement is we have to find users who tend to visit good pages. That is our task or analysis which we want to perform. So we have to find the users who tend to visit good pages, right? This is our task. So how we are going to perform, that we are going to see now. Before going to that, we are going to see the conceptual data flow, how it goes on, right? So first and the foremost job we are going to do is we have to load the data sets. We have to load this data set. Which data set? Visits data sets, because in the previous slide we have seen two data sets, that is called as visits data set is one, another is pages data set is one. So what we have to do now, we have to load the visits data set. The visit data set has got user, URL and time, and we have to load the pages data sets which has URL and page rank. So totally I have two data sets, visits and pages. We have to load. Where we have to load this? We have to load this into the HDFS, because once we load into the HDFS, then only we can perform the analysis. Otherwise we cannot perform the analysis. Now after loading these two data sets, what we are going to do is we are going to make use of the built-in functions, built-in operational functions, which is already there in the PIG. So I will show you practically also how the PIG works. It is very simple way. So with this PIG, you can perform the quick analysis immediately in your organization. So we are going to make use of joins here. So I'm going to join basing on the my common field that is called as URL and URL. So I have joined it. URL equals URL. Which URL is URL? Load URL equals, sorry, visits URL equal pages URL. I'm going to group the users by using the group by clause. I'm going to compute the average page rank, and I'm going to filter if the average page rank is greater than 0.5. So that is the data flow goes on, and how it is going to be practically performed we are going to see now, right? Before going practically, let us discuss some more things here. How Yahoo uses PIG. PIG is best suited for the data factory. Data factory contains basically pipelines. The pipeline brings logs from Yahoo web servers, and these logs undergo a cleaning step where boots, company internal views and threads are removed. And researchers want to quickly write a script to test their theory. This is very, very useful for this, because I already said that in my research also, for quick research test, for quick theory test, I have myself used PIG here. And PIG interaction with streaming makes it easy for researcher to take a Perl or Python script, run it against a huge data sets. So that is the benefit of using the PIG, and how PIG has been implemented by the Yahoo. We have seen it. This PIG can be implemented on any data sets, maybe on the healthcare data sets, because these days the PIG data generation is not only from one area. PIG data has been generated in all the areas. It is from the healthcare systems, it is from the electronic sides, it is from the computer sides, it is from the bioinformatics sides, it is from the zone of medicine, it is from the zone of civil parts. We have generating lots of data sets where we require the analytics, where the traditional approaches is not possible to implement the analysis. So if you take the example of healthcare data set, how you are going to perform the analysis for the healthcare, if we have a healthcare data set, for instance, I have this data set. So I'm using my scoop mechanism, because scoop is my mechanism to import and export the structured data. So I'm assuming that my data set, my healthcare data set is based on CSV format, that is called as comma separated value format. So since it is structured data, I'm going to make use of scoop rather than the flume. So using the scoop, I have taken the data and I have kept into the HDFS. Once I have kept in the HDFS, I am going to write my pig script. I'm going to write my pig script, and the pig script is going to read data from the HDFS, and it is going to generate the data. What generate the data? Basing on whatever the requirement you have asked. And just now we have said in the previous example how many user has visited the frequently URLs based on the ranking. So, or that is with consent to the URLs and pages. This is with consent to the healthcare. How many patients are infected with what kind of diseases? How many patients has got diabetics? How many patients has got flu? So this kind of analysis can be done, maybe a yearly analysis, monthly analysis, daily analysis. We can perform. Once the script is ready, the analysis can be done anyway. It can be on a yearly basis, monthly basis, daily basis, hourly basis. The quick analysis can be done, because overall the thing is that we need to change only one parameter, that is called as what? A year parameter, or a month parameter, or a day parameter, or a hour parameter. Hardly these parameters we need to change. That's all. The same manner, the pig analysis, pig can be used to perform the analysis for weather also, because previously for generating the weather report, we used to make use of writing big programs and all, but now the tendency has changed completely. A quick analysis can be performed by using the pig and hive on the weather data also. Similarly, in which in the complete year, which year has got the highest temperature, which month has got the highest temperature, which month has got the lowest temperature. Similarly, we can perform the analysis month wise. Similarly, year wise, we can perform the analysis by using the pig. Yeah, we are now directly into the pig now. The most important, the technical aspect we are seeing now. The thing we are going to see now is here. The most important thing, this is now we are almost like into the core part of the pig now. So the basic pig programming structure goes on like this. This is the structure of pig program. So the pig can be implemented, the scripting can be implemented in three fashions. The first fashion is called as scripting fashion, next is called as a grunt, next is called as a embedded. What is a script is, before going to the script, let me cover the grunt first of all. Grunt is nothing but a simple interactive shell. It is a simple interactive shell where you can run simple pig commands. What is a grunt? Grunt is nothing but a simple interactive shell for running the pig commands, where you can run simple pig commands you can run, right? So that is with the help of, that is called as a grunt. That means individual commands we are going to see with the help of the grunt. What about the script here? For example, using the grunt, what I am going to do is just one command I am going to perform. For example, I want to perform 3 lines of scripting. So the 3 lines of scripting I am going to perform in 3 steps. That is with the grunt. It is simply something like how if people is having an idea with the Linux and all, performing individual commands, that is called as a grunt here. So such job, because repeating the same commands again and again, it may be cumbersome. So to overcome such thing, those same 3 or 4 commands which you are typing in the grunt shell can be overcome by writing the script here. So all the scripts can be saved with extension .pig. For example, you're writing a file called as something called ranking analysis you are performing. So you can say rank.pig. So where you can perform the ranking analysis. So all the set of codes has been represented in the script itself. So the major difference between script and grunt is nothing but in grunt, individual commands we are going to give, whereas in the script, all the 10-15 line of commands we are going to put in the script and we are going to execute at once. That is called as a script here. What about the embedded is, the embedded is nothing but here, the power of Java, who are the people who are very good towards Java, they don't want to leave the Java. So such people, what they can do is, they can make use of Java power also here. So what they can do, they can make use of user-defined function, which is written in by using the Java, and they can call that user-defined function by using the pig. So that is called as what? Embedded. That means what here? We are not only dependent on the pig, but also we are making use of the power of Java here. That means, For example, if you want to write some user-defined functions and all, we can write user-defined functions, as well as what we can do, we can embed it into the pig here. So the power of pig also we can make use of, the power of Java also we can make use of. Again, the question comes here is, again, we don't know Java means, don't worry, again I'm telling you, leave about the embedded part, only work with the script and current. You can make your work done. But still, a point I want to make you is, a strong point is, it is better to upgrade towards implementing through the programming, because through the programming many more works can be done compared to the simple level of mechanisms. So these are the three basic structure, that is called the script, grunt and embedded, right? Pig is made up of two components basically. What are the two important components is? The two important components are, pig is one, another is what? Execution environment. So what is a pig here? A pig basically consists of what here? Data flows here. Pig is used to express the data flow. How the flow goes on, it expresses here. And what about the second component, that is called the execution environment? How the execution is happening, that is going to be demonstrated here. So in the execution environment, distributed execution on Hadoop cluster and local execution using the single JVM. That means what? Even though you are running the pig, internally there will be the internal work is done by the JVM, that is called a Java virtual machine. So even though we are making use of pig or Hive, but internally the working of JVM, that is the working of Java virtual machine, will be there. So these are the two basic components, that is called the data flow, as well as the Java virtual machine will be basic, will be in the background of the pig. How the pig execution goes on is, the pig execution goes on here. Actually, the pig resides on user machine. This is your user machine, and the job is executed on the cluster. Pig is residing in the user machine, but the execution of job is doing at the Hadoop cluster level. So you no need to install anything extra on your Hadoop cluster. So in any institution, we can have our own cluster. Like in Vignan, we can have our own cluster. We can have a Vignan cluster. In that Vignan cluster, we are going to dump all our data, maybe 15 years of data, 20 years of all our data of students, all our information, we are going to dump, and we are going to name it as a Vignan cluster. And what we are going to do now, we are going to, the slave nodes is going to make use of, because the Hadoop framework is based on master slave architecture. So the slave nodes is going to work on the data sets which are placed in the Hadoop cluster, that is called as the Hadoop distributed file system, and they are going to perform the analysis. So whatever the dummy machines with minimum RAM, with minimum processors are there, you can make use of them for making the slave. And if things possible, we can make a global cluster also. All institution, one institution can make a connect to another cluster. Again, the other cluster can make use of another cluster. Likewise, we can make a global cluster, and all the global cluster can make use, will be called as what here? The global cluster will become as a cloud cluster again, because all are interacting with one another, and we are taking the power of every machine, and where the scientific calculations can be done very quickly. No machine is idle. Every power of the machine can be utilized for the benefit of the society. That is most important part of the cluster. Actually, every institution should have a cluster. That cluster should be communicating with the cluster of another region. All the cluster should be connected with the cloud cluster. Then all the power can be implemented for the calculation of the scientific calculations. So quick analysis, quick calculation, quick experimental result, and quick research can be generated by using the this kind of clusters. Pig latent program, it is made up of series of operations or transformations that are applied to the input data to produce the output. Pig turns the transformation into series of map reduce jobs. So I already said you that whenever we are giving the pig commands, all the pig commands internally they generates the series of MapReduce jobs only. They will not do anything. They will generate the series of MapReduce jobs. So you don't need to write the MapReduce coding. The internally the series of MapReduce jobs are going to be performed here. Yes, we are again into the most important. This is all the technical part we are discussing now. The PIG basically consists of 4 basic types of data models. What are the 4 basic types of data models for the PIG is, that is called as the atom, tuple, map and bag. So these are the most important data models: atom, tuple, map and bag. So what is a bag is? Bag is a collection of tuples. Tuple is a collection of ordered set of fields. Field is a piece of data and map is nothing but a formation of key and value. So this is the structure of the data model. What is a bag? A bag is nothing but a, we are going to have a bag. A bag is nothing but a collection of tuples. A tuple is an ordered set of fields. A field is a piece of data. A data map is a map from keys that are strings, literals to the values that can be any data type. So with this data model, what we come to conclusion is, whatever the thing could be, ultimately the last thing it has to form is the key value pair. Already in the previous webinars, we have been discussing about the MapReduce. In the MapReduce also, we have discussed that whenever the analysis is implemented, every data is going to be divided, every data is going to be framed in the form of key value pairs only. Ultimately, every data is going to be framed or formed into the key value pair only. So here, ultimately, a bag is a collection of a bag is a collection of tuple. A tuple is a collection of ordered set of fields. A field is a piece of data, maybe a 1, 2, 3, something like that. And ultimately, a data map is a map from keys that are string literals to values. That means it forms the key value pair here. So here we have a tuple. Here we have one row, some values. That means here the key value formation has been implemented here. So that means what I want to tell you with this slide is, every data is going to be converted in the form of key value pair only, which we have already implemented, which we have already learned in the MapReduce. So the common and equal phenomena is going to be applied even to the PIG and even to the Hive. So the strategy will not be changed, but even the style of programming may be different, but the principle will never be changed. So what are the data types are there in the PIG are? These are the data types are there, that is called as a bag, tuple, map, integer, long, float, double, char array and byte array. So these are the data types are there. So these data types are present in the classes called as org.apache.pig, org.apache.pig, java.util.map, and these are all the normal data types that is called as the wrapper classes only: integer, long, float, double, char array, byte array. So these are the only the new thing we have is bag, tuple, map. Now the concept practical issue is, there are various modes and various ways are there where the PIG can be implemented. For example, if people are having a Ubuntu platform, or they have their own own setup for execution of their Hadoop and all, then they need to install the PIG separately. At that time, they are going to get this these things, the org.apache packages, all these things they are going to get. There is another mode is there, that is called the Hortonworks. If Hortonworks is also there, what is going to happen? Then they also that working mechanism will be slightly different. The best mechanism is the Cloudera. Cloudera is the simplest mechanism for learners, and for implementation also they can make use of it. Why? Because the most important benefit they are going to get is all the tools will be under the Cloudera. So they can get the power of MapReduce, they can get the power of PIG, they can get the power of Hive. No separate installation, nothing is going to be done. So I suggest for Cloudera only. Then let us see about the PIG latent relational operators. What are the relational operators are there? Because basing on this only I can show the example here. So that is the reason we are seeing about these relational operators. So the relational operators can be categorized as loading and storing, filtering, grouping and joining, sorting, combining and splitting. These are the categorization of the PIG latent relational operators. So with concern to loading and storing, we have got an operator that is called as load, store, dump. With concern to the filtering, we have an operators called as filter, distinct, for each, generate, stream. For grouping and joining, we have a operators called as join, co-group, group, cross. With concern to the sorting, we have order, limit, and with concern to the category called as combining and splitting, we have a operator called as union and split. So when we use this operator, actually the PIG is very simple because of these operators only. With these operators, all the jobs can be done. So that is these operators, the ready-made operators made the work more simple. So the PIG includes the concept of data elements being whenever we find any null value. So what is the null value? So the null value the PIG treats as a unknown completely. That means what? In PIG, when a data element is null, it means the value is completely unknown. It means that completely the value is unknown. So for example, just if you take this data, I'm having this data set. Student is one data set, another is what? Student role is another data set. So we are having student data set and we are having another data set called a student role. So student data set is having name, age, GPA. Student role is having name and roll number. See, these are the examples which can be implemented at the institution level. So that is the reason I am showing these examples so that a cluster can be formed. Right. So here I have a null. That means what? Sam don't have age. So this is what here unknown. It is what here? It's the unknown here. It's not a null because that is the consideration of the PIG. Now, how to implement this job in the PIG environment? We have to see now. So this can be implemented in the PIG like this. For example, I'm having a load. What is a load here? A load is nothing but it is going to load the data set into the HDFS. So load is my, so already in the operators I have told you. So load is nothing but loads data from the file system or other storage into a relation. What about the store? It saves a relation into the file system or other storage. What is the dump? Prints a relation to the console. So with concern to this, so I'm making use of the load operator here. What is the load operator is doing? The load operator is going to load the data set. What is my data set? Student. Where is this data set? Already these data sets are there. Already in every institution, we are keeping our information in the form of some Excel sheets or some doc files or some format we are keeping now. So I'm going to load the data set that is called a student data set by using the operator called as load now. So basing on the data present in the data set, I am now making as a field now here. What are the field I am making now here? Name is one field, age is one field, GPA is one field. What is the data type of the name here? Char array. See, this is defined by me only. This is defined by us only, right? And age is a one more field which data type is what? Integer. GPA is a one more field whose data type is what? Float. So already in the previous slide we have seen the data types. So these are the data types are there. We have integer, long, float, double, char array, byte array, etc. So once the data is loaded into the HDFS, now what we can do is, if you want to see whether the data has really gone to the HDFS or not as a curiosity, I am going to use the command called as dump. What is the meaning of dump here? Dump is nothing but here I am going to display the result. I am going to print it. So what about this A? A is nothing but a relation. very frequently asked question to me is this relation is a permanent relation or a temporary relation? I want to tell you one important point is this A is a temporary relation which is created for our work purpose, because always keep in the mind that pig is a ad hoc way of analysis. It is a temporary way of performing the analysis. So, but student is not a temporary, it is a permanent data set which I have kept in the HDF, which I have kept in the HDFS. So, temporarily A relation has been created, and the A relation has got the name data, age and GPA. So if I say dump A, I'm going to get this result. This is my result. Joe, this is the age and this is the GPA. 2.5 is the GPA. Sam, unknown value, 3.0 is the GPA. Angel, John, these are all the data given by the A. So A is a relation. This relation has how many fields? Name, age and GPA. What is the data type of name? Char array, integer, sorry, age data type is integer, GPA is float. Similarly, now what I can do is I have got a temporary relation called as A. So I am going to keep say as group A. A is having what data sets now? These data. What data? Name, age and GPA. I want to group by name. So this result I am going to keep in the one more relation called as a X. So I have already got a relation. I have got a relation called as X. X has, sorry, A has what? A relation has which data? A relation has this data. What data? This data the A relation have, right? It is having this data. And what about this X relation? X relation don't have all the data. Why? Because I have used a group by operator. So I have got what now? This data only. Joe, Sam, John and Angel. So the output given by the A relation is different from the output given by the relation X. So dump is my command to print on the screen here. Dump is my command to print on the screen here. So I have got A relation and I have got a X relation. So A and X are temporary relation, right? So like this the output can be done. If this job, if I am performing with the help of MapReduce, I need to write a coding, because I need to provide a step-by-step operation. The coding part may be smaller, but in the MapReduce we need to provide the step-by-step information. What step-by-step information we need to provide? We need to tell the configuration settings, the job level settings, all these things we need to say step by step. Almost all that step-by-step operation itself will take nearly 50 to 60 lines of coding part rather than the logic part. So such operations can be implemented. The simplest operation or the quick analysis can be implemented by using these techniques. Similarly, if you want to use of co-group operator also, you can make use of, let's say, as load student again. So load is my operator to load the data into the HDFS. What is my data set? Student. So in the form of fields called as name, age and GPA. In the relation called as A, we have one more relation called as student role, which has the fields called name and roll number, and the relation called as B. So we have got A and B relation. A has 3 fields, B relation has 2 fields, right? So I'm making use of operator called as co-group. Co-group A. What is A? A is a relation. This A relation has name, age and GPA. And B relation has name. Of course roll number also, but I am taking what? Name only. So co-group A by name, B by name. So the result will be stored in the new relation called as X. So to print the result of X, I am saying dump X. So once you say dump X, I'm going to get this output. Based on this, what is the output I got? These are the output. That's called the co-group. Here I'm performed here. So the co-grouping has been done here, and we have got Joe, Sam, John, Angel. So basing on this co-group, I got the output here. Right. So we have seen the operators that is called as, these are the operators we have which can be implemented We have seen join, co-group, group, even cross also we can perform. So these things we can implement it. So we have some other operators that is called as diagnostic operators and UDF statements. This is very important. We are going little bit deeper now, and exactly at 4:35 I will start the practical aspect, how the PIC can be implemented, what are the setup file can be changed for the PIC, and how to go to the grunt, how to make use of script, how to make use of UDF, because in the previous slides I have told you that PIC can be implemented at 3 levels, either by writing the script, either by writing the grunt, either by writing the UDFs. So before going ahead, let me complete this diagnostic operators here. So diagnostic operators, the PIC latent has diagnostic operators. What are the diagnostic operators are there is, there are 3 diagnostic operators are there, that is called the describe, explain and illustrate. So these are the 3 diagnostic operators. The word diagnostic itself is demonstrating that it is for the diagnostic purpose. For the diagnosis purpose it is going to be used. What you are going to diagnose here, sometimes I want to have the information regarding my relation schema, because I have created a relation called as A, and I forgot what is the schema it is having, what kind of fields we have defined, what kind of data types it is defined. And I want to tell you one more important thing is, many of you, generally it's a frequently asked question, this name age is defined by myself, my fields. You can define your own. You can say S name, S age, anything you can define. If depending upon your necessity, you are going to do. Because our data set is a normal data set. It is a CSV format, because big data itself is for what? Structured, unstructured, mixed of all. So you are going to categorize them according to your needs. That's it. So please don't confuse with these things here. You can make use of anything here. Coming to the diagnostic operators here, we have diagnostic operators that is called as describe, explain and illustrate. So describe is for prints the relation schema, and explain is for prints the logical and physical plans. What is logical and physical plans here? Whenever we are giving the PIC command, actually what happens is, internally the JVM runs and the MapReduce coding runs on. Every people may not have the enthusiasm of how it is running, but some people may be having interest. People who are involved in the research, they want to know how the logical plan has been established, actually, how the physical plans has been established, so that diagnosis can be done with the help of the explain. So describe is going to just provide the schema of the relation, but explain is going to show the logical and physical plans, how logically it is going to execute or executing, how physically it is executing or it's going to execute, that is going to be demonstrated. What about the third diagnostic operator, that is called the illustrate? What is the illustrate is? Illustrate is nothing but it shows a simple execution of the logical plan using the generated subset of the input. That means what? Sample execution it is going to show. Before execution, a sample execution plan it is going to show. So that is about the 3 diagnostic operators, that is called as the describe, explain and illustrate. Next, coming to the UDFs. What are UDFs? UDFs are nothing but user defined functions. So user defined functions, whenever we are going to write the user defined functions, we are going to write the Java coding. After you write the Java coding, you are going to compile the Java code. After you compile the Java code, we need to create the jar file, because later the jar files we are going to push into the HDFS, and the jar file, whatever the Java technique you have written, whatever the Java programming technique you have written for performing the analysis, once we compress that Java program into the jar file, what is going to happen is, it is going to perform the analysis. It is going to perform the analysis. Now, once the jar file is ready, what we are going to do is, we are going to register the jar file, and then what we are going to do is we are going to implement that jar file once it is registered into the our scripting part or the command line area or the grunt shell area wherever we want to use. So by using this register and define commands, what we can do is register is useful for registering the jar file, and define is useful for defining the alias or the name of the UDF in our scripting area or in the command specification area that is called as the grunt area. So just for understanding purpose, these are the slides I kept for you. How the describe is going to work. See, if I'm going to use describe, so see, just this is the way how we are going to use. So load is my operator to load the data into the data set. What is my data set? Yes, data 1 is my data set. So what are my A1, A2 here? A1 is my field and A2 is a one more field. One more data set is what? Data 2, that is also I am loading. And what are my fields? B1 and B2. So A, I have got a relation. B, I have got a relation. X is a new relation I am making here. Union A comma B. So what is the meaning of union? I want to compress the data of A and B and I want to put into the X. Now X is a new relation. I am very curious to know about what X is having now. So I am going to say now describe. So the describe operator is to review the fields and data types. So what are the fields I am having now here? A1 integer and A2 integer. So these are things I am going to have now. Now with concern to the logical plan, that is called as explain. So what is the logic explain will do? The explain will explain about the logical and the physical plans. So what is the use the explain operator to review the logical and physical and map reduce execution plans that are used to compute the specified relationship. The logical plan shows a pipeline of operator to be executed to build the relation. Type checking and backend independent optimization are also applied, such as applying the filters, etc. So this is the output for the logical plan. If I say explain X according to the previous slide example, so it is going to explain like this, right? We have a A1, A2, B1, B2. So it is one bag, it is one bag. So logically it is going to explain, the logical plans it is going to explain. These are all simple commands. Say how I have given here, you can also give at the grunt shell. The same manner it's going to work. Now coming to the physical plan. What is the physical plan here? The physical plan shows the logical operator are translated to backend specific physical operator. Some backend optimization also applied here. So physically how it is implemented is it is going to store here the physical plans A, B. For each loop is executed here. For each loop is executed. So physically how it is implemented, that physical plan shows the logical operator. So what are my logical operators here? I'm having the for each is a logical thing I'm applying here. I'm applying the project here. I'm applying the load here. These are the logical operators are also be demonstrated in the physical plan. Coming to the MapReduce plan here, the MapReduce plan shows the physical operators are grouped into MapReduce jobs. So overall, with the help of this describe and explain, what we are going to learn is we are not going to do anything, but internally with our curiosity, if you want to know how internally it is functioning, then in that case I can make use of this explain here, because how it is running, in what kind of operators it has been implemented, how it is logically division has been implemented. So all those things if you want to learn, we can make use of these commands. Similarly, we have one more command that is called the illustrate. What is the illustrate is? Illustrate command is used to demonstrate a good example input data. For example, it is going to show the illustrate use the judgment like this: what completeness, conciseness, and degree of realism. So the illustrate is going to show all these things: the completeness and the conciseness and the degree of realism. So complete. So internally how that work is happening, it is going to demonstrate here. So A is a one relation, B is a one relation, A relation has got A1 and A2 as a fields, A1 of byte array data type, A2 as a byte array. Again, I'm having one more relation called B, how it has been implemented, and ultimately how we got the data of a new relation called as X, and the combined data we got here 4, 8, 6, 4 likewise. So that is what about the illustrate, explain. Short and sweet. So we have seen about the diagnostic operators. The word diagnostic itself indicates the diagnosis purpose, but there is no way concerned with implementation part. If you really want to know how it is working, then only we are going to implement the diagnostic operators. Otherwise, we never make use of describe, explain, and illustrate. Yes. Coming to the most important thing about the file loaders. The file loaders in Pig, we have the file loaders. What are the file loaders we have is bin storage is one, Pig storage, text loader, CSV loader, XML loader. So these are all the loaders we are having in the Pig. Bin storage, Pig storage, text loaders, CSV loader, XML loader. So these are all the loaders. What these loaders will do is, using these loaders, what we are going to do is, we are going to load the binary storage using the bin storage. Using the Pig storage, I am going to load and store the data that is denoted by something. What is something here? Maybe a comma or a space, all these things. Okay, that is called my Pig storage here. What is my text loader here? Text loader loads data line by line and delimited by new line character. So if we have binary data and that you want to perform the analysis by using the Pig, then use the file loader called as bin storage. If you have the data which is delimited by comma, space, something, but must be delimited, in that case we are going to make use of Pig storage. If we have a simple text file which are delimited by new line character, then I am going to make use of text loader. I am going to load the CSV file if we have a specific CSV files using the CSV loaders. If we want to perform the analysis for XML files, we can make use of XML loaders. That's about the loaders here. Now we are into the Pig latent. So how the UDF can be implemented, because already I said you that in the Pig can be implemented by using the grunt script and by using the UDFs. So grunt is for writing a single commands, a simple commands. If you have, we can make use of grunt. And if you have 2 or more lines of scripting, maybe 5 or 6 or 10 lines of things, instead of giving a grunt individually, we can make it write of the script here. And if you want to implement the power of Java, you can make use of writing the UDF here. So you can write the UDFs like this. For example, I have written some UDF here for checking the age here, age of 18, 19, 21, 23, 27, like this. So this is my UDF I have written here. So after you make this UDF in the Java, you are going to compile this program. After compiling, you are going to create the jar file. Once the jar file is created, what we have to make use of is, we have to make use of these 2 commands now. One is register, another is define. What is a register? Register is going to register the jar file once you have created. After the registration of jar file is done, what we are going to do? We are going to make use of define. What is the define will do here? The define is going to define that UDF file in the script or in the grunt. So in that fashion, we are going to make use of UDF. So that's what I have told you, how to call the UDF. Register my UDF.jar. That means what? Just imagine that this is my UDF. My UDF.jar file I have created. And then now I am implementing this my UDF.jar file like this. X is my relation, filter A by is of age. Age is my parameter I am passing now. Now my work became simple now. I have used the power of Java also, as well as the simplicity of Pig also. has been implemented. Right, before going ahead, I would like to continue with before taking the questions, I would like to show how the practically it can be implemented, then we will carry the questions. So I will make use of my virtual machine. I would like to show how the PIC is going to work. For 10 minutes, then we will take the questions. So I'm opening my virtual machine, Cloudera. Yeah, it takes time to start. Oh, it's taking too much of time. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to go into the Cloudera. So before going ahead, before using the PIC, see, I have told you the PIC can be implemented at grunt level is one is a script level, another is UDF. UDF is as usual writing the Java program. Right. So this is my terminal window. So before starting the PIC, we need to do some changes in the setup file. What are the changes we have to do is, we have to do the changes like this. So I'll say sudo gedit .bash rc. See, you can, before going into that, I would like to show something here. Go to my computer, go to file system, and we have lib. Sorry. Go to lib. User lib. Yes. I want to show the benefit of using the Cloudera. See here, here I didn't done any installation, so automatically we got the pig here. So I have got the software for the pig. See, I have got a pig here. You can open this. These are all the pig related softwares we have, right? So we have bin here again, right? So in the bin we have got a one more file where the setup can be done here. So we have lib files. These are all the this is what the very important thing. These are all the library files, right? And we have the most important is this is the jar file which we require whenever you are running the UDFs, because apart from Hadoop jar file, we require the pig jar file also whenever you are writing the UDF, because in the UDF we have seen this is the UDF file. So we are making use of this boolean, tuple, and what you say object. These are all things are present in this jar file only. Jar file in this jar file, right? So without setting the path of this jar file, if you run, you are going to get the errors. But don't think that at the time that these are all the mistakes you have. It is not a mistake. It is just since the path has not been set. So yes, so like this, the benefit is there with this. So now we have to do certain setup here. So I'm opening a the bash rc file. So I have given here sudo because it is a super user, so I have to go with the password entry. So I'm going now here. I'm giving here Cloudera password. My password I have given, yes. So in this file we need to do only one important thing we need to do. What is the only one important thing you have to do is this line we need to adding of this path, export Java home user lead JVM. This is the thing we need to add. That's it. No more changes is required. Only adding of this. That's it. If you do this, overall job is over, because already the bash rc file is already created. So we don't need to do anything. Just we need to add this line. That's all. Export Java home, because already I said you that whenever you are giving the pig command, whenever I explain about the explain, describe, all the diagnostic commands, so internally this JVM is going to do all the role, actually the internal, because as I said you that whenever you are giving the pig commands, internally the MapReduce is running here. So that is the important thing, and then you just say save, and that's it, close. And this job you don't need to do every day. Once you do setup, that's it, finish, close. So you don't need to do everything. So if you are writing a script, you can write the script here. You can open gedit and you can write your script, maybe a first.pig you can write, and you can type the script commands, and you're going to save that, and then you're going to run them by saying the pig and the script name, right? If you want to run with the help of what you say grunt, in that case what I have to do, we have to go to the grunt. To go to the grunt shell, I'm going to use the command called as pig. Once you say pig, what is going to happen? You are directly into the grunt. So here you can give all the commands. What are the commands, individual commands, whatever you want to give, you can give. For example, let us check what is present in the HDFS. So basing on that, we are going to see. So I will open one more terminal window, and here I will check what are the data sets are present. So some data sets are there. So for your understanding purpose, let us check the data set called as student, right? So this is my data sets are there, and some other data sets are also there, that is called as temperature is there, something else is there, so results is there. So these are the data sets are there, right? So I'm going to put this data set into the HDFS. Maybe I will take the data set called as student. So I'm going to put, because when you are learning about the Hadoop, we have learned that the first data set has to be pushed into the HDFS. So I am putting the data set into the HDFS, Hadoop fs minus put. I'm going to put the file called as student. So what is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is nothing but I'm using the Hadoop command fs file system. Put is my command to put into the HDFS. So I want to put the student file. So since it is from the local path, so I'm not giving the any path here. Where you want to take? I want to take to the HDFS. So source is this is and destination is this is. So source is root home Cloudera and destination is what? My HDFS. So it is saying that already it exists. So since it is already exists, there is no need to do it. So let us check whether it is there or not. I'll go to the web interface. Go to the name node status because we have browse file system. Go to user. By default, it goes in that path. User. Somewhat stuck. Cloudera. So we have the file. Yes, the file came to the HDFS. So what I say is all files, whatever the information, whatever the file, maybe in Excel file, doc file, text file, CSV file, all structured, unstructured, images, video files, all files we can put into the HDFS. We can perform all kind of analysis. So this is my file I'm having now. Without writing MR code, I want to perform simple analysis. Nothing, not more than that. I want to say, I want to display all the data. That's it. That is the thing I want to do now. So in the grunt, I'm going to do that job now. So what I'm going to do that is, I'm going to say, first of all, the load operation I'm going to perform here. So I'm going to say here as A. I'm going to load the file called as student. So I'm going to system has become very slow. Yes, you can see here, just imagine that this is our problem. What is the problem? Find out successful students in a class. So what I'm going to do now, I'm having two data sets. That is called student and results. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put these two data sets into the HDFS and I'm going to run the simple commands. What is that? My relation name. This relation name could be anything here. So I'm saying here as load. Load is my command to load, and I'm saying here as this is a command I'm going to simply use. It's becoming stuck. So again, load. I'm loading the results. These are my fields: name, roll number. Roll number is one more field. Status is one more field, right? So what I'm saying now here, I'm simply saying join A by roll, B by roll, because in the roll we have got roll numbers both in both the data sets. So for each I'm going to use for each is a loop here. It's going to generate, and we are going to filter all the down. We are going to filter all the people who are past. So we are not going to do all these things right now. Just one thing, one simple command I want to show, because the time is yeah. Yes, so what I'm going to say now here is load. So A is my relation here. So I will not use here root because I have directly kept in the HDFS. I have my data is there in the root user Cloudera. Yeah, go to name node status file system user. See, yeah, if you have kept your data set in the root, then you can use that command. If since I have not kept the data set in the root, I cannot use root here. I am going to say user Cloudera, because by default it goes to this path only, because when I have given the command, this is the command I have given here. So I have given the source here. By destination is I have not specified the path of destination. So since I have not specified the path of destination, directly it has gone to this path. If I would have said, root, then it will go to the root, not to the root user Cloudera. So since it is not there in the root, so I have to remove this line now in the grunt. Right now, what I'm going to do now? So I'm going to say right, yeah. So to see the output, I'm going to say dump. So I'm going to see here. I want to show you one important thing, that internally you just simple dump command you have given, but internally it's running MapReduce code only. See, the logical plan will be used. Logical plan. See, internally all the MapReduce is only running. See, 0% completed mapper. Yeah, so we got the output now. Now you can run all the queries. People who got good marks, less marks, passed, fail, all the stuff you can do it. So with this, what we come to a conclusion, that is, even though we are giving just, I have given only simple 2 commands, that's it. Even though we are giving simple line of code, just 2 lines of code we have written, but internally it is running the MapReduce coding. So whole burden has been taken by the HDFS. Just simply it has given a simple thing that just do this job, that's it. So this can be done at the grunt level or at the script level, or you can implement at the UDFs also. Right. So like this the things goes on. So we are not able to cover the Hive part. So the next webinar we are going to see about the Hive, and then we will continue. If you have any questions, please pass on. We will answer. Ask the questions.
Yes, ma'am. We're waiting for
questions. Yes.
What is HDFS?
HDFS is a Hadoop distributed file system where before performing any kind of analysis, the data has to be kept into the HDFS. So HDFS is nothing but its storage location. Unless the data is going to be stored, we cannot perform the analysis. For example, the previous slides, beginning slide, I have shown you this, right? So this is something like the HDFS, right? So this is the key part actually. So whether it is structured data or unstructured data, it has to go into the HDFS. Then only the analysis can be implemented. So if we want to perform the analysis for the unstructured data, we are going to make use of Flume component, and we are going to import into the HDFS. Once data is present in the HDFS, then only we can write MapReduce programming, or we can write PIG to perform the analysis. But difference is nothing but the PIG, we don't need to write big program, just as shown you, just 1 or 2 lines you can show. But whereas in the MapReduce, you can write, you have to write the lengthy program. But of course, lengthy programs are also, if you have a particular operation has to perform, then please stick on to MapReduce only. So that's what about the HDFS.
Is there any editor support for PIG scripting?
So yes, you can make use of Notepad++ and all. You can use GEditor, and of course, whatever the editors supported by the Linux environment, all those editors we can make use of it. No problem.
No, that's all the questions, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for attending the webinar. Yes, thank you.